Sound speeds. And ever since we've been recording sound, we've been talking about recording something called room tone. But what exactly is it? Well, in short, room tone is simply the sound of the room that you're in, the tone of the room. If I go quiet, that's the sound of the room I'm in right now. It's actually pretty quiet right now, wouldn't you say? Well, that right there is the room tone. If I'm recording a feature film or a television show, it's going to also sound different according to the environment I'm in. If I'm on a stage, for example, it's going to sound totally different than it would if I'm outside. Every room you record in is going to have its own unique acoustic signature, and that's going to change according to the number of people that are in there. Or soundproofing. Is there a carpet? How high is the ceiling? How wide is the room? All of these factors and more affect the acoustic signature of that particular room. Traditionally, in filmmaking, we would record that room tone so the post always has some of that unique acoustic signature to slip in when they need to. For example, they want to build a dramatic pause between two lines of dialogue. They could if they had clean room tone. Sometimes they even just need to build a little bit or pull in a word from a different take, and by having that room tone, sometimes it helps them bridge that gap because they can fade in and out of the room tone as needed. We don't usually record room tone anymore, and here's why. Because of modern technology, post is able to grab a small section of sound in between two lines of dialogue, or before the director says cut at the end, or before they say action at the beginning, and they can simply acoustically grab that signature of the room in that room tone, and then they can duplicate it as needed. As a matter of fact, that's the first step I do when I'm processing my sound for sound speeds. Let me show you. Here's the raw WAV file of the sound that you are currently hearing on this YouTube video. If I want to grab the acoustic signature of the room I'm in, all I need to do is find a quiet place. Look for an area with three little spikes, because that's going to be me clapping my hands in order to sync that sound. After I clap those 3 times, I go quiet. That way I record the acoustic signature of the room with everything the way it's going to be for the video. I hold my breath and don't move a muscle because my microphone is so sensitive it would pick up everything. That's going to be the cleanest sound I have. I highlight this selection, hit play, and make sure it's on a loop. Then I open effects and add a plugin called Reaper. I make sure the mode says subtract, and then I tick the button next to automatically build noise profile. Reaper is now analyzing the sound, and all the noise in my room lives underneath that red line. Before you leave this screen, untick that box so that Reaper doesn't add your dialogue to the noise profile. After I clap those 3 times, listen to the way it sounds as I remove and add back the background noise. It only takes post a fraction of a second to build a noise profile of a room. For example, right before I said for example right there, that was maybe half a second. I'm going to use that half a second and build an entire noise profile for this entire video. For example, right before I said for example right there, that was... Reaper is an awesome program, but motion picture post guys have even better tools at their disposal. One of them is Isotope RX. Look down in the description if you want more information on that. If you're shooting in a very noisy environment, like for example, construction right across the street that's not willing to work with you, and you don't think that post is going to have an opportunity to grab a little section, a little sliver of that sound that represents the background noise in your scene, then by all means, get a room tone for them. It can't hurt, but as a general rule, they don't use it anymore, so don't stress yourself over it. That's great sound advice. Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.